I'm always going to be hyped for new hardware, but boy did PlayStation just knock the wind out of that. First of all, the presentation was whack. It barely had any information. It was very simplified. The tech enthusiast in me got excited when I heard Mark Cerny was to be the one talking about the PS5 Pro. I get most people weren't enthused at his Power Hour years ago, but as a tech geek, I actually enjoyed it. The presentation was the opposite of that. This presentation was boring and simple, no detail involved at all. Here are 3 things we improved. The big 3, he called it. First off, ray tracing is fine. Ooh-wee, pretty game. We like our pretty games, I get it. However, 90% of the time we are gaming, we are focused in on the action at the center of the screen. I definitely care a lot more about frames per second over how well I can see characters in the distance and the stands and Ratchet and Clank. I believe most people, if made aware of high frame rate gaming, would agree and prefer better fluidity to their games over ray tracing. In most games, you are constantly moving and the finer details in your environment become less important than the fluidity of the movement. Now, I'm not saying in performance modes for games there won't be 120 FPS capabilities, but I definitely feel like it should have been highlighted and prioritized. I game on a 4K 240Hz Alienware OLED. I want as many frames as I can get. What was interesting to me is Mark Cerny admits in the video that most players play in performance mode. Data shows. My take on this is people prefer higher frames over graphics, but their take is they think we should just have the best of both worlds. Mix fidelity and performance together, 60 frames per second with great visuals. Does this mean performance mode will be 120 FPS now? I sure hope so, because with the PSSR tech and the increased headroom in the GPU, I would assume it is more than possible. No disc reader on a $700 console is wild work. I get it though, everyone is buying their games digitally, blah blah blah. I love the soulless future of console gaming, where we forget the joy of yesteryear, blowing in our cartridges or trying to clean our PS2 discs with our bad breath, praying that our box of joy can read it. A all-digital future is something my inner minimalist appreciates, but I also don't like corporations having control over things I buy once I buy them, and this is becoming a more prominent problem as time passes. No stand, Sony? You couldn't even give me a fucking stand for $700? That's insane. The design is meh. I don't hate it. I'm glad it's white after I've already committed to a white and black desk setup to match my PS5 and all the accessories I have for it. I like the idea of the racing stripe-like design. Nothing fancy here, but that's okay. Really, it's the least important part of the console for me. It having no disk drive is a big thing for me. The way they designed the PS5 originally, it made the digital edition sleeker looking than the disc system with its random hump that was not symmetrical. The digital Slim I own is sleek and I like it, but to me, this just amplifies my dislike for the design language of the PS5. Really, to me, it seems like Sony was trying to be sneaky. You know how we can get them to go all digital? Make the digital version symmetrical and make the disc version the same, but with a hump. Everyone will buy the digital version for its sleek design, and we make more profit because we get more of the cut. Honestly, this presentation re-emphasized something for me. This is the worst console gen as a Sony pony I've ever seen. Astrobot has been the highlight. My review for that will be coming soon. Other than that, I feel like this generation has had no soul. I feel like the joy of the console experience has been taken away, and only Nintendo is keeping the joys of our childhood alive. This all-digital future, with all of our games laden with microtransactions, it's not a future that I'm happy about. This is why I've had less interest in my channel lately, why I have not posted in a while. While the first game I will review and talk about in a while is Astrobot. I feel our consoles are edging closer to PCs. The thing is, I love console gaming, and I always have. The convenience and the simplicity of it. The new hardware I always get excited for. The diversity in games and experiences I can have. As much as I hate Nintendo for its overly protective attitude towards its IP, I do love them for keeping the true joyous nature of console gaming alive. Sony, on the other hand, is getting on my nerves as of late. $700 for a console with no disk drive is madness. Talking about the finer details of distant objects is not a good way to convince people to spend $700 on a console. But more importantly, we want games. Where the fuck are the games? You canceled The Last of Us Online and pushed out Conquer just to give it the Thanos finisher. Where the hell is Ghost of Tsushima 2? A new game integrated into this presentation would have done wonders. This console cycle has been barren from the first party. We have been expecting for over a year now for Sony to have a big showcase announcing all of the games we have yet to see. Instead, we have gotten information on live service games the last couple of years, Spider-Man 2, which was great, and Astrobot, which is the best game I've played in a long time and is literally the definition of console gaming at its finest. Conquered and Astrobot really just showed Sony what the hell we want, what we crave. True gaming, true art design, true creativity, the sheer joy video games can bring us, exceptional experiences. We shun the game that is everything modern video games represent and have praised the hell out of a game that represents everything we love about gaming. I'm rambling, I know, but the PS5 Pro shows further how out of touch Sony is with its fan base. I'm only buying it because I promised my son he could have my Slim when I get the Pro, because I thought the Pro would be a little more affordable for what it is. This is my initial impression. I look forward to more details on the system, but my initial impression is disappointment as a PlayStation fan. Sony continues to show a lack of past excellence this generation because they have no need to innovate and make fans happy because they have no competition. I hope the Switch 2 gets announced soon and it is indeed good enough to play modern games in a respectable way, because if Sony remains unchallenged, I fear the brand I love will get worse and I will continue to have mostly negative things to say about it. The best comment I've seen on their YouTube videos summarizes exactly how I feel. Wayne Swirl wrote, €800 for background detail in a game is insanity. Hideaki Nishino-san wrote on the PlayStation blog about the reveal and it starts out, over the last 4 years since the launch of the PS5, we've worked hard to continuously evolve the console experience and deliver the great games our players expect from us.
So many cut.
You mean you have further pushed the PlayStation brand into becoming an inferior PC experience and have delivered 2 top-tier games from the first party in 4 years? He also wrote, PS5 Pro provides gamers with amazing graphics at high frame rates. Bro, 60 FPS isn't high frame rates. Can I play Astrobot at 120 Hz? Our other enhancements include PS5 Pro Game Boost, which can apply to more than 8,500 backwards compatible PS4 games playable on PS5 Pro. This feature may stabilize or improve the performance of supported PS4 and PS5 games. Enhanced image quality for PS4 games is also available to improve the resolution on select PS4 games. That's just a possibility. That's if people decide to go and patch their games. Otherwise, no dice. He also put, PS5 Pro will also launch with the latest wireless technology, Wi-Fi 7, and territories supporting the standard. VRR and 8K gaming are also supported. Wi-Fi 7, I appreciate. The game boost could be pretty cool actually, but we need more details on this. What does it actually do for those games, is the question. 8K gaming? Oh, here we go again, Sony. Tell me about 8K gaming, which I don't give a fuck about because no one has an 8K display, and I would much rather have lower resolution at better frame rates. This shit really pissed me off. We kept the look of the PS5 Pro consistent with the overall PS5 family of products. You'll notice the height is the same size as the original PS5, and the width is the same size as the current PS5 model, aka the Slim. I don't know why the fuck they don't use that. To accommodate higher performance specs, players can add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive or swap out console covers when they become available. So wait, hold on, pause. You sold me the cobalt blue plates for the OG system right before announcing the Slim, which would use different plates, and now you're telling me this Pro system will take new plates as well?
Bruh.
It will include a 2TB SSD. Oh, something fans want that you actually did right. Well, I would hope so, since it's 700 smackaroonies. What a shite show. Sony has lost their damn minds. I appreciate you listening and watching my video. I will be making more content now, but a lot of it based on PlayStation of old, the glory days. After some time to contemplate, I have shifted my perspective a bit on the PS5 Pro. While I think its astronomical price point is crazy, a lot of that has to do with my idea of what a console is. A console has always been the affordable counterpart to the PC. Even since the inception of home consoles, the arcade counterparts were always the superior technology we all dreamed of having at home. My brief stint as a PC gamer during the PlayStation 4 generation spoiled me a bit as far as frame rates go. I had the top of the line Asus ROG 32-inch 2K 165Hz monitor, blah 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 blah. Playing Odyssey on that compared to my PS4 was night and day. I didn't get back in the PlayStation until my hype for Spider-Man when I pre-ordered the Pro console. My point is, I do value frame rate more than anything now, and that bias is my reason for my frustration with the Pro mostly. I would rather have a better frame rate than a pretty game. But that's what PCs are for, and I can't be upset that PlayStation isn't offering me that preference. I think their philosophy is a bit wrong, of course. I would rather have a upscaled 1080p image to 4K that runs at a high frame rate with less ray tracing. I think for most gaming enthusiasts who know a lot about tech, they have that same sentiment. PC players have often chose frame rate over ray tracing. But consoles have always been tailored experiences that fit the mold of the console's manufacturer. Therefore, I guess I should feel less entitled towards my desires. If it wasn't for PlayStation IP, my history with the brand, and trophies, I probably would be a PC gamer because I like mostly everything else about PC more. One realization that tempered my annoyance with the PS5 Pro announcement is the cost of handheld PCs, which is definitely tailored more to gaming on the go. Most of these handhelds are around the same price or more than the Pro, and far less capable gaming-wise, and I bought a Steam Deck for $50 less at $650. At one point, I was also considering buying the Lenovo Legion Go. I get it though. Those are PCs, not dedicated console experiences, but they have been used 90% of the time for gaming, so is that much of a difference? 4K at 60 with beautiful graphics will still be a great experience despite my preference for frame rate over everything. So I can't be too mad at PlayStation for not focusing on what I think matters the most. I do have an inherent frustration with how powerful the consoles are now and how you can't utilize that power how you wish. For example, less ray tracing and more frames. I definitely prefer that. I still think $700 in this economy for the average gamer is too damn much. I still think not including a stand is whack as hell. And I still think a Pro console should have a disk drive because it's a huge part of console DNA. But at least they do offer a optional drive for those who do prefer physical-based media. They don't have to do that, and I am grateful for that. And to be fair, most people these days, by a vast majority, buy digital, which you wouldn't assume based on the PS5 Pro's videos comment section. All in all, there's some things that I do dislike about the system. I'm not as mad about it as I was when I first watched the presentation because I was just like, what the hell? But then the more I thought about it, especially in this economy, I know it's hard for us because we're the consumer, but, you know, inflation also matters to businesses. And then when you look comparatively to PCs, and especially in the handheld PC space, you see that it's not too much of a stretch. It's just mind-boggling because as console fans, we aren't used to prices that high. But the last time we seen that was during the PS3. And when that was revealed, you seen how people reacted to that. So this really is nothing new under the sun. But anyways, I appreciate you watching my video and taking time out of your day to hear what I have to think. And I know irregardless, we're all still very excited for new hardware and the future of gaming. That's why we consume this content. But I appreciate you. And if you like my content, please like and subscribe to my video. And love you all and Godspeed.